Alright. Readers, while I'm definitely interested and ready to see a new take on the Addams Family, I'm cautiously optimistic about this one. And it has nothing to do with the tone or the cast, mind you. Let me get that out the way right now. Because number one, the cast looks great. You got Oscar Isaac as Gomez, Charlize Theron as Morticia, Finn Wolfhard as Pugsley, Chloe Grace Moretz as Wednesday, and Bette Midler as Grandma Addams. Winifred from Hocus Pocus is playing Grandma Addams. That is not just typecasting, that is perfect casting. And the tone looks pretty dope. True, it's not the live-action movies we grew up with like the original movie or Addams Family Values. But given the antics seen in the trailer, it definitely reminds me of the animated series Hanna-Barbera made in the 90s after the first live-action movie, and I used to watch the fuck out of that back in the day. Now, I know what you're thinking, but LaRon, if it's not the tone or the cast, then why are you so cautiously optimistic about the new animated Addams Family movie? Well, it's like I said in one of the last episodes I did of what I missed before Patreon-a-thon started. The animation studio behind this animated Addams Family movie is Nitrogen Studios, the animation studio that also made Sausage Party. Fortunately, it's Conrad Vernon that's directing the film, who was the more reasonable of the two heads to work with, according to testimonies. Greg Tiernan, the other head over there, on the other hand, just made life a living hell over there for their animators. I went more in depth about what all the animators had to go through in a video that I made about it when the news initially broke, but the gist of it was poor working conditions, underpaid and unpaid overtime, petty ass firings, just a lot of shit. Now, I know a few individuals might be turned off of the new Addams Family movie because of this information, especially if you're anything like me in this regard. I want to support it because I'm getting an animated Addams Family movie with the tone and feel of the animated series and with an awesome-ass cast. But I also want to make sure that one of the key factors responsible for this movie being made are being treated fairly and paid adequately for what we're about to watch. You don't want to knowingly or accidentally support a sweatshop. Well, if that's the case, then we need to take into consideration some news that happened since the controversy. One thing being that Nitrogen Studios has since been bought by the British visual effects and animation studio Cinesite in March of 2017, and that they're going to be working with the Nitrogen senior team on a strategy to help fast-track the company to a standard suitable to Cinesite. And there's the fact that just last month, in March of 2019, the Vancouver animators that worked on Sausage Party won a lawsuit against Nitrogen Studios and are to be rewarded their rightfully earned overtime pay according to the British Columbia Employment Standards branch. Now, we still don't know if Greg Tiernan is still part of Nitrogen Studios after the buyout. And there's also the fact that Cinesite tried to fight the lawsuit after acquiring Nitrogen Studios by saying the animators weren't entitled to the overtime pay they were seeking because of the Employment Standards Act in the province in question. Which, upon finding that tidbit of information out about Cinesite, told me a lot, actually. You just bought a company you knew was involved in a controversy regarding the treatment of its animators almost exactly 2 years ago. The same animators you may have to utilize again in the future. And your first decision isn't to settle and give them what they want so that they can at least feel that the company that screwed them over is in better hands, but to try and fight the lawsuit? Just to save a few bucks now at the risk of completely ruining whatever relationship you would have had with possibly returning animators and make more money? What kind of Ebenezer Scrooge-ass logic is that? Sorry, I just have issues with people and companies deciding that keeping their coin is more important than keeping their common sense. Unfortunately, readers, there's no clear yes or no answer regarding whether the new Addams Family movie should be given our time of day in regards to the new information we have about Nitrogen Studios. On the surface, it looks like because of the acquisition, things may be better for the current and future animators that the company works with, so maybe it'll be okay to show support. But when you dig a bit, you find out that there's a possibility that not even some of the surface level problems have been addressed, and that the new company that owns the company in question cares more about holding on to whatever money that they have, as opposed to first and foremost making things right with the individuals that can make them even more money later on down the line. So it's like I said at the beginning of this video about being cautiously optimistic. As fun as this movie looks, I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to see this. While I am happy that the non-problematic sausage party head is directing the Addams Family movie, the news about how Cinesite tried to fight the lawsuit after buying Nitrogen Studios kinda troubled me. It pretty much negated the majority of me thinking that the studio was in better hands than it was before, so now I'm back to 50-50 real talk. At this point, the only thing that can help me feel comfortable with seeing this movie is if I hear from the animators themselves. I need to know if their experiences were adequate and if they felt that they were treated and paid fairly while working on the project. Because readers, if you're genuinely torn whether or not to do or act on something based on morals, principles, info, and ethics alone, then take the information you're initially given, continue to do your own research on top of it, and then go from there. Do as much research as you can on the matter, become as informed as you can on the matter, and then let the info you found play a factor into how you properly make your decision. There's no need to be brash, there's no need to immediately jump to conclusions, and you can take as long as you need. Because when it comes to making rational, emotional, and well-informed decisions, not only do you owe it to yourself, but you owe it to whoever it is it affects. And in this case, it's an entire animation team. Anyway, readers, your homework assignment for the day. Write in the comment section below either what you thought of the trailer for the Addams Family animated movie, or whether or not you'll see it considering the circumstances. Either way, I'd love to know your thoughts. Patreon-a-thon is happening all April long here on Readus 101. So if you want to qualify for giveaways and help financially support the channel, you can join my Patreon by clicking the card at the end of the video or in the link in the description box below, where you can also find a link to my merchandise store. Or if you prefer to give one-time donations, you can find links to my PayPal and my Ko-fi account in the description box as well. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. But until then, this is Readus 101. Class dismissed.